Hi everybody, my name's Ruth. Welcome to another Adventurers at Home session. Today's session is called Ears and it's all about listening to God. So let's get started with our special Adventurers chant. You can join in with the actions and the words at home. Here we go. We're going on an adventure. We're gonna have some fun. What are the clues? Who will we meet? Let's get started. And we're going to start today by making our craft. For our craft today, we're going to make this person in a bed. And you'll find out a bit more about it in the story today. So, this is what you will need. A piece of card, can be any card. I've got a cereal packet. A toilet roll or the inside of a kitchen roll. Some pens, a piece of kitchen roll, some glue, some scissors, and it's optional, but you might want to have a Lego or a Playmobil person, but you don't need those, it's up to you. So the first thing to do is to take your toilet roll and measure it along your piece of card, and you need to cut a piece of card that's enough space for you to put your pillow on and to fit the end of your toilet roll on. So I'm going to put a little mark on mine there, and I'm going to cut across my card like this, and then I don't need all of that, so I'm going to cut it roughly in about half like that. Okay, put that to one side, and then the next thing you need is your piece of kitchen roll. So fold it in half and then cut it down where you folded, like this. Then you're going to take one half of it, you're going to fold it in half again, and then you're going to fold it over like this to make your pillow. And then you need to put a bit of glue to secure it. And then put some glue on the card. And then stick down your pillow. Like that. Okay. Next thing is to put a strip of glue on your piece of card underneath your pillow. Going down like that. And then you can stick your toilet roll onto the card, like that. Put that to one side and take your other bit of kitchen roll and fold it in half. So it's like that. It's probably worth putting a dab of glue to hold the two bits together. That's going to be your blanket. You don't have to use kitchen roll, you could use a bit of fabric or anything else, or a bit of felt or whatever you've got at home. But we're using kitchen roll. To decorate it, you're just going to draw some patterns on it with some felt tips. But it's best to put a bit of paper underneath in case the felt tip goes through the kitchen roll. So I'm just going to do some quick patterns on mine. I think I'll do stripes on this one, I did zigzags on the other. I'll have a stripe like that, and then a stripe like that at the bottom, but you can do whatever pattern you want. Actually, I'll have a zigzag in the middle with some dots. There we go. And when you've done that, you're going to put some glue on your kitchen roll, on your toilet roll, and then stick your blanket over the top like that. Okay, now the next thing you need to do is either you can use a Playmobil figure or a Lego person to be your person in your bed, or if you want to, you can draw a little picture of yourself just on a bit of card. That's what I did for this one. So I'm going to pop that in there like that. And then there's one last thing to do, and that is to make your speech bubble. So I'm going to draw a speech bubble on here. We're going to put our names on the speech bubble to remind us that God speaks to us. And in our story, you're going to find out about somebody speaking to God. I'm just going to cut that out. And stick it on. You can stick it wherever you want to. I'm just going to stick it on my bed like that. And there you've got your finished craft for you to make after the session. As we're thinking all about ears and listening today, for our Hunt Challenge, I've got a sound quiz for you. I'm going to play 5 different sounds and you've got to see if you can guess what they are. Here's the first one. What do you think it was that was making that sound? It was these. Did you guess some little symbols? Or did you think it was something else? Sound number 2. Did you work out what that was? It was this, my electric toothbrush. Sound number 3. Shall we hear it again? It's quite tricky, this one. I wonder if you worked out what it was. It was this owl. Sound number 4. Did you work out what it was? It was my phone. Sound number 5. It's a bit of a tricky one. Did you work out what it was? It was me pulling some sellotape. Now it's time for us to have our song with Veronica.
Hello adventurers, it's so good to see you, and we're going to do our song today. We're going to sing Jump Up, so we'll have a quick remember of all our actions to start with. So it goes jump up, wave your arms and shout hooray! God thinks you're really great, you've made his day, so put your thumbs up. And then we sing he loves me just the way I am, in fact he is my biggest fan. Jump up, wave your arms and shout hooray! Alright, do you remember? Let's do all that with the music. Are you ready? Some clapping to start with. Well done. Ready to go.
Jump up and wave your arms and shout hooray! God thinks you're really great, you made his day. He loves me just the way I am, in fact he is my biggest fan. Jump up and wave your arms and shout hooray!
Well done.
Jump up and wave your arms and shout hooray! God thinks you're really great, you made his day. He loves me just the way I am, in fact he is my biggest fan. Jump up and wave your arms and shout hooray!
Well done. That's great. Keep going. Again.
Jump up and wave your arms and shout hooray! God thinks you're really great, you made his day. He loves me just the way I am, in fact he is my biggest fan. Jump up and wave your arms and shout hooray! shouting for joy.
Sing it out loud.
We're shouting, shouting, shouting for Jesus.
Woo!
We're shouting, shouting, shouting for joy.
Well done. One more time through, all the way. Ready?
Jump up and wave your arms and shout hooray. God thinks you're really great, you made this day. He loves me just the way I am. In fact, he is my biggest fan. Jump up and wave your arms and shout hooray.
Done. Oh, well done, adventurers. That was fantastic. Give yourselves a big clap. Well done.
Thanks, Veronica. I think I need to sit down after all that jumping about. I think it's time to find out what's in the rucksack today. I think Smudge is going to come and help me, but I think he might be asleep. Shall we shout to him after 3? 1, 2, 3. Smudge!
Hello!
Hello, Smudge. How are you today and what have you been up to?
I've been out for a walk and I played football.
Oh, that was a good header. Well done. How's homeschooling going?
It's okay, but I still miss my friends.
I know, it's really hard not being able to see everyone, but it is important to keep everybody safe. When I miss my friends, I talk to God about it, and that helps me to feel a bit better.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea. I'll have to try that later.
Let's see what the clues are in the rucksack today.
Yes, that's a good idea. What's the first clue?
Oh, let's have a look. Oh, I think it's some clothing. It looks like... Oh, I think it's a pair of pyjamas.
That's a funny clue.
It is, isn't it? I wonder whether our story is about somebody going to sleep. Let's see what the next clue is. Oh, having a dab around. Oh, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
That was terrible, Ruth. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, these might be useful for you, Smudge. It's some headphones. You can use them to block out my singing.
Yes, or when my brother is annoying me. What's our word for today, Ruth?
Don't know, let's have a look. Here it is. Oh, it's on an ear. Can you read it at home? It says, listen. I think we better go over to Jenny and find out what our story is today.
Hello, adventurers. I've come to tell you the story for today. And the story today is from the Bible again. And this time it's from the Old Testament. So it's from before Jesus was born. And it's all about a boy called Samuel. And here's Samuel. Samuel was a boy who lived in the temple, learning what had to be done there. And the person who taught him was Eli, a priest. So this is Eli, who taught Samuel everything he needed to know. And one night, when they were both in bed, let's put them into bed. So Eli was in bed and Samuel was in bed. So one night, when they were in bed and everything was quiet,
Samuel, Samuel.
Samuel heard a voice and he got up and he ran to Eli and he said, "Here I am, you called me." And Eli said, "No, I didn't call you. Go back to bed." So Samuel turned round and he went back to bed. But in a little while, when everything was quiet,
Samuel, Samuel.
he heard it again. So he got up and he ran to Eli and he said, "You did call me. Here I am." And Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back to bed." So Samuel went back to bed again. I expect you can think of what happens next, because when it was all quiet again,
Samuel, Samuel,
Samuel got up again, and he ran to Eli again, and he said, "You did call me. Here I am." And Eli suddenly realized what must be happening. He said to Samuel, "I think the Lord is calling you. This time when you go back to bed, if the voice comes again, say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" So Samuel went back to bed, and Eli went back to bed. I'm sure you know what's going to happen next, because when everything was quiet again,
Samuel, Samuel,
and this time Samuel didn't run to Eli. He said, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." And God did speak to Samuel. He told him messages to give to his people. And God still speaks to people even now. And it doesn't matter whether you are an adult or a child, God can still speak to you, which is quite amazing, isn't it? But we do have to be listening for him.
So, Smudge, that story from the Bible was all about sleeping, speaking and listening.
Yes, it was, wasn't it, Ruth? Ruth, does God speak to you when you're asleep?
Sometimes, but not very often, and not really in a voice that I can hear. It's more like waking up and having a thought in my mind, which I've learned that over the years is God speaking to me.
Ruth, do you think God can talk to me?
Of course, Smudge. God can speak to anyone, whether they're old or young, big or small. He can speak to us directly through our thoughts and sometimes in a voice or a dream, but he can also speak to us through the Bible or other people. When we hear Bible stories, that's God showing us things about himself that he wants to tell us.
Oh, I see. So I guess God has told me that he wants to speak to everyone, even me, and I just have to listen.
Exactly, Smudge.
I think I'm going to go practice listening to God then.
Good idea, Smudge. Remember, God can speak to us anywhere and at any time. Are you going to say goodbye to everyone, Smudge?
Bye.
Bye, Smudge. Now, Jenny and Franz are going to help us say some prayers.
And now it's time for our prayer. God speaks to us in many different ways. He speaks to us through the Bible. He speaks to us through what other people say and do. And he speaks to us in the lovely things he's made in our world. So we're going to say a thank you prayer. And when we've said our part of the prayer, I'll leave a space for you to say or think your part. So are you ready? Thank you, God, for the Bible. Thank you, God, for birds singing.
thank you, God, for my family, and thank you for hills and rivers.
And now it's your turn. Thank you, God, for... And thank you, God, that we can hear you speaking. Amen.
Thanks, Jenny. Let's do our special adventurers prayer. You can join in at home. Thank you, God, for our adventure and all we've learnt today. Help us to do what you want. Look after us until we meet again. Amen. And now it's time for our special adventurers goodbye. Join in with me at home. We've been on an adventure. We've had lots of fun. We've solved the clues. We've made new friends. Time to go home. Well, thanks for joining in with Adventurers at Home. Hope to see you again next time. Stay safe and well. God bless. Bye.